Hi, Rashid. Hi.
Hi, Tricia. How are you?
Good, good. How's the sound?
I think sound is fine.
All right. Well, yes, this is my second time doing this. So now we'll work out. Now we've worked
Lovely.
out some of the kinks, but I'm
Okay.
glad that you're able to do it. So we'll wait 3 more minutes until we have the official
Yeah.
start time. But this was
Okay.
our
All
backup
right.
time in case there were issues. Oh, I see. We're
Mm-hmm,
getting quite a
mm-hmm,
few people. We even have
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
House of Gold from LA joining. So that's
Okay.
Adriano. Yeah,
All right.
good,
Okay.
good.
So this is my first time, so let's see how it goes. We've
Yes,
already gone through it once.
it's just like a conversation. So it's
Sure, sure.
almost like if we were together in person. That's how I like to look at it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Tricia, you know what? Miss those good old days. We could have been meeting in next week's in a
I
week's
know.
time in Amsterdam. I missed that really.
I know. It's funny because you do look back on it now, and even when I see pictures from when we were together in Munich, and it's like,
Mm-hmm. I know. I know.
you run around and then now we're 4 weeks here. So,
I know. I know.
but
I
it
know.
it's hard to believe. We never thought it would be like that.
I know, I know. But I guess that's the best for all of us at the moment.
Yes, yes, exactly. So we'll
Yeah,
wait
we
a
can just
minute
sit
to
and
kick
pray that,
off.
yeah.
Yeah, good,
Okay, all right.
good.
So no retakes on this one.
No retakes. It's live.
We're
That's fine.
live. Okay, can't believe I'm going live.
Oh,
Okay,
Zishan joined too. That's nice. Your colleagues
okay,
are
yes.
joining.
I know I've told everyone, so whoever could come in will join in.
Yeah,
It's good to see you, everyone up there.
good. It is. It is. It's like having a group conversation.
Of
So
course, of
Anne's
course.
here. Yeah, nice. From Europe, we have people coming in, and it was good to see some of
Okay.
the people from the U.S. So
Mm-hmm.
great. Hi, Aiden. So
Okay, Aideen is there. Yeah.
yeah. So we'll get started. It's 9:30 and we're kicking off our taking the temperature, our chats that we're doing here on Carved in Blue and reaching out to our denim community. And so my name is Tricia Carey and I work for Tencel in our denim area. And with me today we have Rashid joining from Navina from Pakistan. And, I've been having so many people reaching out to me asking how we're doing in New York, because certainly what you hear on the news is devastating. And,
Of
and
course.
so we have these little chats to kind of catch up with our community. And so I was really glad that you agreed to join today, Rashid. I know this is your first time doing Instagram Live. It's I'm still new to this too. I think this time has really forced us to look at how we connect differently, how we use digital tools,
Of
how
course.
we manage our time, being at home. So first, I just wanted to check in and how are you doing and how's your family doing?
Tricia, first of all, thank you so much for the invitation. And yes, this is my first time. In fact, this is my first time video conferencing on Insta. So I was kind of getting used to it, trying to check out all the functions and how to log in and so on. So I
Yeah,
have an account. I've had an account for a long, long time. But anyways, yes, it's a great opportunity to get techno savvy and start using all the opportunities and options that we have. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. Yes, me and my family are fine by the grace of God, and we are practicing everything that we know of in terms of social distancing, masking, hand sanitizing, and whatever the best practices are. So yes, me and the surroundings are good. All my friends, family, office staff, workers, everybody's good. Thank you.
good, good. Yes, yes. And same for us and our team in New York, as well as the denim team, Michael and Halle, they're all doing well. And you said everyone's practicing the social distancing, certainly utilizing the tools. I have in-house technicians who are
Mhm.
16 and 20. They help me with Instagram all the time. And, this, I always think it's interesting because we learn so much from each other,
Of
too.
course.
So yeah, yeah. And how is Navina doing? What as a company, how are you addressing the current situation?
Well, Navina, just like any other mill, and especially talking about Pakistan, I would like to say a few words about Pakistan first before we talk about Navina. Pakistan is no different than any other textile producing countries in the world. Uh, it's a total chaos. People are shutdowns. All the factories have closed down. People are sitting on big stocks, uh, shipments on the sea, shipments on the port, negotiations back and forth. So it's a tough time for the industry, not only the textile, but everyone. Overall, everything is shut down, and nobody knows how and when we are going to resume. So everybody's panicking. Having said this, just to share a few numbers and about the textile, our total export out of Pakistan is $24 billion, and out of that, 13 billion is just the textiles. Uh, we have some 25 mills and approximately producing 500 million meters a year. The textile sector itself employs around 1.5 million workers, out of which 20% are just employed by the denim divisions.
Wow.
So that's a huge number, and we are looking at a big unemployment, which is a serious problem right now. Having said this, I'm so glad that we're part of Navina family, and Navina, day before yesterday, the management and the group has decided not to lay off a single person.
Wow,
For
that's incredible. Yeah.
Yes, in this difficult time, it was a very tough decision, but yes, by the grace of God, we did finally agreed on this. And in return, our senior management has voluntarily offered to reduce their salaries by certain percentages.
Wow.
And this does not include the daily wages, the minimum low income wages. So that means there'll be no deduction in their salaries for another 2 months, although we're going to go to a full-time closure for 2 months.
Wow.
And that's what, I believe that, a professional company like Navina, who is very focused and very well financially managed, and I guess this is what sustainability is, to be able to survive through tough times. And I see even in globally, across Europe and US, whoever has been managing their finances and whoever is dedicated, focused on business will survive.
Right.
And that's what the take is on Pakistan right now and
Yeah.
Navina.
Yeah, that's very impressive that Naveen is making that commitment to not lay anyone off. I think from my perspective of what I'm seeing in the US, obviously still all the retail stores are closed.
Of course.
Only the stores that have food, like Target, Walmart, that
Oh,
also
no.
have apparel, Costco, those are doing well. But I mean, every day I hear of more furloughs in the U.S. Certainly, retail workers being laid off, but now we
Yeah.
also see design and sales staff being let go, or like you said, put on reduced pay. All of this, so it's the uncertainty that we have,
Hmm.
and I think how will we cope with all of this because we don't even know how long it's going to last.
I know.
For lensing, we are still servicing our customers. Our New York office is all working from home, as our Austria headquarters also, everyone
Hmm. Hmm.
is working from home. I think Austria as a country is doing a little bit better because they're talking about how to bring people on.
Hmm.
In New York City, with the concentration of people here, it's really tough. And you
I'm
know how
sure. I'm sure.
hard hit New York City has been with
Of
throughout
course.
all of this. Um, but I think the fact that Navina is making this commitment must also help the workers feel, how they can keep going together. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Yes, of course. I mean, there was a very positive spirit, and everybody was very happy about it. And we have had people in the company who are like working for last 20 years,
Yeah,
and it's we just cannot let them go. And the company has committed to take care of them as much as possible, not financially only, but in terms of educating them on all the best practices and how to stay safe and stay home and social distancing and everything. So we are doing whatever best we can. Having said this, I would also like to mention something important here. And I see that, due to all these conditions, there are a lot of complaining, a lot of whining, and orders being canceled. And, I think it's not the time for blame game.
yeah,
Uh, we have worked with our buyers, customers for years and years, and we have made money also. And I
Right.
feel that this is the time, and we were all together in this as a team, as real partners. And now it's a difficult time, and I think we need to be more patient and more cooperative and more understanding. And
Yeah.
yes, we are also having the same financial flows. Cash flows is problem. Money is being stuck with all the vendors. Vendors are not ready to release the shipments because there is no clarity. We are working with different vendors on payment terms, trying to get the shipments released. And there are multiple problems. So sitting at home working is being more difficult now.
Yeah.
If it was 3 hours before, now it's like 7, 8 hours of all communication on the net from US, Europe to locally and then all around the globe. So I think that, just like Navina, I'm sure there's so many other dedicated, committed companies, buyers, brands, and I'm sure they will survive. We will
Yeah.
live through it. It's tough time, but there has to be some positivity also.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's a time where we have to come together. And I think if you look in the past week, Bangladesh has been, really very vocal in pushing back to the brands that they can't have these cancellations and they can't just leave everybody sitting there. I mean, how do you see that in Pakistan? Because I mean, Bangladesh had a lot of press over this in the past week.
See, Bangladesh has got different challenges. I'm no one to comment about how and what they are doing. Basically, it's a big export and they're textile dependent, and it's very important for them. Uh, I can only talk about Pakistan and maybe more focused on my position. And luckily, we are working with the brands, some of the most renowned partners, brands in the world, and they have reached out to us. And Levi, Gap, Target, Inditex, Zara, these are some of the big players. And at this time, they have reached us and they have approached us talking about how to hold the shipments. And when the time comes, maybe there is always a middle way.
Yeah,
Nobody has said we are backing out of the orders or the canceling orders. They have put everything on hold for the time being. This is a temporary phase that everybody needs to understand
right,
and everybody needs to be patient. So my customers, we are, and I'm sure the same scenario must be globally. We have some very reliable partners, and we
right.
need to understand and cooperate at this time. Renegotiate, start over again. It might take time. Nothing will happen on the first day. We won't start 100% production on the first day, but slowly, gradually, things should go back. I'm optimistic. By nature, I'm optimistic.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know that's what you say. You have to, and also by nature, I'm also optimistic, and we have to try to figure out a way to work together. But I think it's challenging when with the stores being closed, and we're all trying to figure out what's post-pandemic life going to be like, and life as consumers and as citizens, but also life within our industry. And now I'm trying to sort through, what are the brands going to do with the merchandise they currently have? Because now with stores closed, you're looking at 2, maybe even 3 months that no one's even entering a store to
Of
even look at
course.
that merchandise. And so do they liquidate? Do they try to sell it as low as they can just to get it out? Do they warehouse some of that? What can be canceled? What are you hearing from some of your customers?
Well, that's a good question. First of all, this is a $1 million question,
Yeah,
which nobody has a
exactly.
right answer to that.
Right,
So
right.
that's a difficult one. But I can definitely share one of my conversations with the Chinese friend. And day before yesterday, Zishan and I were talking to guys in Kingdom and then other folks. And this is what the question was. So how is the condition now and how are people reacting? So he specifically mentioned Shanghai. And he said the day we started opening and during the 2 months of pandemic period, everybody was nervous. People were sitting on stocks and, laying off and all these things were going on. But the moment we started, and of course, the stores were desperate to sell. So they put everything on clearance and 70% sale, so on and on. And he said within days, everything was gone. So it was a Chinese market. It was a different pattern of consumer behavior. I don't know if this will apply in Europe and US, but this is what I've heard from China in Shanghai. So
Yeah.
it's encouraging. It's good. I'm happy to hear that. I don't know if that's going to happen in Europe and US with so many layoffs and so many bankruptcies. So let's just keep our fingers crossed
Yeah.
and hope for the
Yeah.
best.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I've also been trying to look at what happened in China and what were the patterns, that were happening around the world. I really hope that we don't go into this liquidation and have, this dumping
I know.
basically, because it will just deteriorate the market and what we've been trying to build so much. In my optimistic, idealistic world, I would love for all the brands to come together and make some pact that they're not going to have these ridiculous sales, 60
Sales.
off and another 20
I
off.
know.
And how could the American retailers have limit this price promotion period that we always have? And
I
if there
know.
was ways that we could just kind of, take from this time, reflect, take a blank slate and start new and only have promotions, say, twice a year, like they do more in Europe. Because otherwise, how will we get out of that vicious cycle of being, low priced and not having really quality and value associated?
I know, you're right. The problem is there has been a number race, a rat race. Everybody wants to go bigger and better in terms of products, and ultimately, everybody is now like a fat company. They need to lean. They need to be lean. They need to have the right size of inventory. People have been, America, for instance, just like you mentioned, it's the best place to shop because
Yeah,
value for money,
right.
the cheapest option you can get is in the US,
Yeah, I
all
know.
across I've
Yeah,
lived in Dubai, I've seen other European countries also, but the best value for money is in US, and that's because that's bulk buying. That's what the pattern has always been, and I think that needs to be corrected. uh, uh, it's not only about, it should not only be only price. We should
right.
get into some real meaningful value for money product, a purposeful, uh, uh, you know, something has to change,
Yeah. No,
and let's
definitely
see what that happens.
it has to change. And so with that change, do you think that there'll be more emphasis on social side of business and more awareness about the people behind, who's making our clothes?
I think so, definitely. I think this is going be a big question. We need to be more transparent going forward. We need to be more sustainable in terms of better practices, sustainable products, and people want to know what exactly we are doing. And in the product line also, I think it's now the mill's responsibility to be more innovative, give consumer a real product, a real denim, which is serving the purpose. I've been hearing people talking about antimicrobacterial denims. And yes, we did this a long time back with silver fiber. And then now we are talking about considering, or at least doing some research on organic indigo.
Right.
And I've been reading that it's antimicrobacterial and so on. And also, people will be doing some research and developments along these lines. And this is important.
Yeah, yeah. And so do you see a big shift in some of your innovations and what you're looking to roll out perhaps in the next year?
See, that's another good question. A little bit of background on Navina. We are a standalone mill. So the only way to survive for us is either become very basic, which is again a race to the bottom.
Right,
Because no matter
right.
what you do, there'll always somebody 5 cents cheaper than you.
Yeah,
Or the other option is just to start innovating, invest in R&D, do a lot of research, have the right partners like Lensing. Of course, development in denim is expensive, but then this is the only option. This is the only way forward. And we will be doing more. We were doing fairly well, but I think it's now responsibility of the R&D team to be doing more research. I'm sure Zishan must have reached out to you talking about some antimicrobial
yes,
fibers,
yes,
the
yeah,
cleansing. I know.
yeah.
So those in those discussions have already been initiated. And like I said, in Novena, we just recently did 100% hemp,
Right.
which was a huge story for Novena because no one has done 100% hemp. And Mohsin and at mine has working on that garment. It came out very beautifully, but the only thing is I couldn't feel it because it's there and I
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
see that. But uh, yes, talking about 100% hemp, and then talking about organic vegetable dyes, and these are some of the things that have been already under discussion, and there'll be more developments in down these lines. So let's see. Let's
Yeah,
try to be more sustainable because we have already seen this. The more sustainable the companies are, the more chances of just living longer. You know,
right.
this is there, right? We've
That
seen it.
that survival, yeah. And I know that you also have business in the workwear market. Do you, especially, in Europe, do you see that changing, or is that an area that might increase for you out of all of this?
I again, interestingly, I just reached out to the cutters in Hong Kong. The company is a Germany-based company called Engelbert Strauss.
Uh-huh.
They're the largest online workwear company. They're buying the strongest denim produced with Dyneema.
Right.
And of course, we have some lensing modal some in some fabrics to give the additional softness. Anyways, so I was talking to them and I was asking them what is the wish list and what is the order position because they have taken certain position and placed some orders. And to my surprise, they said they want the first shipment. They can wait till first week June for the first shipment and then August. So basically now Asia Pacific has started operations. So
Right.
that is a good positive sign for us.
Yeah.
Asia market is going to open. The vendors over there are opening. So this is also going to help the South Asian mills who are
Right.
ready to work.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I'm wondering is will we see first kind of an opening and more demand from, career wear, uniforms, any kind of workwear
Yeah,
programs
we,
before our denim side.
yeah, we are doing some business in Australia also with a workwear company, and there's a motorbike company. So it's a niche market, but yes, I personally think that's going to go strong and steady. Nothing changes there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So good, good. And then how are you keeping in touch with customers? Are you going to be participating in Kingpins 24?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, of course. First of all, again, a huge compliment to Andreola and for starting the Kingpins 24. I think this is a great, great opportunity for all the exhibitors. Normally, we used to meet everyone, but still there were so many people who were left out. But now that this is going to go online, it will be recorded, it will be saved. So I feel we'll have a bigger audience looking at our presentations in detail and they will have all the time. There are some regular appointments, and then certain people are just walk-in. But I feel this is the time where people will really sit at home and listen to all the details that mill has to offer. So we have been working very hard, and I think 3rd April was the deadline. We
Yes.
has set
Yeah.
deadline. So
Last
it was
week. Yeah.
difficult, and we had Mohsen with us, helping us to make the
Yes.
presentation.
Yeah.
I think it came out good. I'll just wait for the rest of the world to comment on that, and let's see. This was the first experience, but I tell you, it was a great experience, something to remember for the rest of our lives.
Yes, yeah. I think also taking this step to connect everyone online, the time is right.
Hmm.
It sort of makes us question, while we were saying in the beginning, we always enjoy catching up with each other at different trade shows, seeing each other in Munich.
Of course,
And that part is something that I really miss is seeing
of course.
everyone. I don't really like working from home. I much
Same here.
prefer to be in an office and connect with people. But I think, under the circumstances, this is a great
Hmm.
opportunity to try something new and
Yes.
to see how this Kingpins 24 will be. And I agree with you. It was great to have the time for everyone to work together on developing
I
our
think so.
our message last week.
Yes.
I
Hmm.
said that to
Hmm.
Andrew. I said, you kind of gave us something else to focus on other than Corona
Of course.
news.
Of
And
course. Of course. Yeah.
yeah, and who knows, it might become the Sundance of denim and getting all of this
You
together.
never know.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to that. And again, I know people, their minds are going in all different directions, but I think it's important that, we stay focused on sustainability efforts that we were building.
Hmm.
But I'm wondering if out of this, what other changes do you think the consumer might feel in their life as we've gone from this, shutdown, very quiet period, and how do we come out of it? What do you think might change with the consumer?
Tricia, to be honest with you, whenever the market's open, I don't think people are start going to stores and start buying immediately. And I was talking to one of the brands, sourcing manager in Europe, and they feel that 70% of the volumes are going to drop, and for things to get normal and for people to start buying apparel, especially, might take the by the end of this year.
Yeah,
So it's going to be tough. The consumer buying pattern, what that is going to be, only time will decide, because already brands and retailers are sitting on huge inventory.
exactly.
So again, what kind of offers are going to come up and how people are going to react to that, we'll just watch and see.
Right, right. Yeah, and I think it'll be interesting to see how the rental, the resale, renewal models, how do they continue to evolve out of this? Because,
Hmm.
will there be a stigma that people don't want to buy used clothing?
There
Um,
will be, definitely. I never thought about
so
that, but yes, you're
yeah,
right.
yeah. So we have to see
Exactly.
where all of that leads to. But I think overall, Rashid, how do you feel about this time? What do you think will change in your life, after this period of working from home? I know you said you were doing more cooking, that you're the breakfast chef in your house. Yeah. So,
I'm trying to,
yeah,
Tricia, very honestly. I mean, I'm trying to make up for the all this lost time or last 20 years I've been working and just, didn't really spend too much time with the family. I realize that now.
yeah,
I'm enjoying my cooking. The deal is that, I have to come up with a new recipe every day.
that's
And
tough.
in return, I have made sure that one of my daughters is always assisting me.
Oh, good.
Um,
Yeah,
like I said, the girls are not complaining.
yeah.
I don't know if they like it, but I know for sure they want me to continue cooking. So that's one of the things.
Oh, that's
Having
good.
said this,
Yeah,
a huge comment, a huge compliment to all the wives, mothers, and people sitting at home taking care of the homes. Now I realize how difficult it is.
yeah,
It's not as much as I enjoy, but it's a difficult job. And honestly,
yeah.
I don't want to be frying eggs for the rest of my life. I
You
want to go.
don't.
I,
Okay.
I want to go. That's I want to work. I miss my
Yeah.
folks. I miss those chats with my friends globally. And denim is so global. We are so interconnected. All the designers, buyers, vendors across the globe. I mean, just sitting here these days, right from Colombia to Cambodia, Egypt, Bangladesh, locally Pakistan. So, these are just the vendors. Then we're talking about suppliers, buyers, brands, designers, all friends across the globe. So we need to be out there. I hope the market resumes soon.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree, and I'm sure you're making the most of your time at home, like you said, with your family. Many of us
Yes,
are, but we do look forward to getting back together,
of course,
and we know that this is an impact that will change so much of the market, and we all have to evolve. And I think that's one thing is
of
if
course.
companies don't look at how much they have to change, they will be the ones that are left behind. So. But Rashid, it was great to chat today and good to catch
Appreciate
up. And as you said, we're all interconnected, so
it.
it's a wonderful chance for us to have a chat and know that we're all doing well. So we need to stay safe, stay home,
Yes.
and we will get together soon.
All right. Thank you, Tricia, and
Okay.
stay safe.
Thanks
All
everyone
right.
for joining.
Great
Okay.
chatting you. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you,
you
people.
too.
Thanks.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
Bye.